Hi there, you beautiful people. Finally coming to you with an actual video of substance for once, but I thought it was a really important topic that I've been seeing going on increasingly more and more. The interest rates. I don't know if many people have been paying attention because there's just so much going on in the world right now, but interest rates are on the huge rise from your federal banks. So your federal banks are raising interest rates based on different numbers coming out as far as inflation, job numbers, and CPI reports. The U.S. is currently in an inflation rate of 6.5%. Now, that's a core inflation rate, which takes out some of these more volatile, fluctuating costs that we experience on a regular basis. So food, groceries, gas, the gas that you use at the pump. But the core inflation really takes into account these day-to-day costs that you are going to have ongoing. The important thing, if this interest rate is going up, that's going to cost you more money on your credit card bills, on your lines of credit, on your mortgages, on your business loans, any form of payment where you take out financing or a loan. These premiums of interest these interest premiums are going to go up. They go up at the federal rate, and then they go up at the consumer level. So you need to take a look at your finances right now and see what kind of an interest rate am I paying. Are there being any increases? And then also, can I offset this interest into a different platform? You want to move that into a long-term lower interest rate any way possible. One of the easiest ways to do that is to have your line of credit mixed with your credit card. Be able to balance the two. Let's go look at some numbers and see what the credit card rate is going to be looking like for the next year and possibly even the next couple of years. Because they do not predict that interest rates are going to go down in any kind of the short term whatsoever. So according to Wallet Hub, the average interest rates on all existing account is about 15.13%. Now, 15% is not a terrible rate for a credit card because you look at some of these other credit card rates that they also cite. So all new offers, 20.5%. Excellent credit, 15.4%. Good credit, 21.57%. Fair credit, 24.14%. Or the store cards, which is 27.4%. So let's just take an average of this, and we're going to actually break down the costs and see what it's going to cost us as far as the interest payments. And especially if we're getting into kind of an economic situation where people are losing jobs, they're unable to afford their bills, they paid way too much for a home or way too much for a vehicle at the time, and these things are just not holding their value. If you're paying credit on that, you want to try and minimize that in the best way possible. You want to pay as low interest as possible. So let's take a look at the breakdown of the actual costs. Okay, first we're going to look at $1,000. What does that actually cost as far as your interest payments on a monthly basis, and what is that going to cost you over the term of the year? So we're going to pay the monthly payment, which on $1,000 is going to be a 3%, so $30 per month. Now, this is 20% over the course of the whole year, so you are not actually adding 20% on a monthly basis, which is kind of a misnomer that people continue to think of. Oh, I'm paying 20%. It is much less than that, but compounding on a monthly basis makes it so much more by the end of the year. So you have a portion of it, and it just compounds. So anyways, let's look at the $1,000 amount. We're paying our minimum balance of $30 per month, which is a 3% on that $1,000. So over the course of the total term, it's going to take us 10 years and 11 months, so almost 11 years to pay off. The interest paid the total interest that's going to be paid over that course is $990.60 for a total paid of $1,990. Now, that's on $1,000, so you're paying right close to double. Now, we will continue. Let's take that up a notch. So most people will have more than $1,000 on their credit card. Obviously, as far as our monthly expenses are going with inflation increases, how is it not more than $1,000? I mean, constantly. So let's take a look at $5,000. See what that would cost you over the total term. So total term is going to take you 20 years and 11 months to pay off. The total interest that you're going to be paying in that period of time is $5,990 in total. Your original balance of $5,000 that you're paying off. Additionally, with your almost $6,000, you're going to be paying $10,990 in total interest and premium, over double in interest over the course of your term. And it takes you 20 years to pay off. Now, we're going to take that up another notch. So, let's say we go up to a $10,000 credit card limit. Many people have limits upwards of here, higher than here, and continue to do the same thing. So let's dig into the $10,000. If we had a $10,000 balance on our credit card, see what we're paying. Again, we're going to be paying the minimum balance, so we're going to be paying 3% of that. So 3% is $300. So minimum monthly payment of $300. Total interest that we're going to be paying is $12,240. This is going to take us 25 years and 3 months to pay off, for a total, with our original balance plus our interest paid, it's going to be $22,240. So well over double our total is what we're paying to pay off our original $10,000 balance. And it's going to take us 25 years to pay that off. Let's take that credit card debt. So that $1,000, that $5,000, that $10,000, and it's going to be a 10-year payoff period, a 20-year, a 25-year payoff. Well, let's see if we could move that into some sort of a lower interest loan, whether it be personal finance, line of credit, business loan if you're carrying out credit cards for business operations. What could you bring those terms down to? What could you bring that total interest down to? So let's take a look at our $1,000 balance. So if we had our $1,000 balance on our credit card, what if we immediately moved it over to a line of credit where we did not have those immediate interest rates or the high interest rates that are going to cost us over the course of years, thousands and thousands of dollars. So let's take our $1,000, we'll move it from our credit card and over into our line of credit. On our line of credit, we're paying more like an 8% average interest rate. And again, this is over the course of the year, so you're paying less than 1% a month. It is still compounding, but it is a very small portion in comparison to your 20%, your 22%, your 25% at times if you have poor credit. So let's take our $1,000 and we'll move it over into our line of credit. So total term is going to take us 7 years and 1 month to pay off. Total interest paid on that 7 years, $235. Total paid, including interest, is $1,235. In comparison to the credit card balance, it was going to take us over 10 years, almost 11 years to pay that off, and the total balance paid was going to be $1,990. So a savings of, goodness, about what? At least 30%? No, in the increase. It's a savings of 75%. You basically you're paying $235 in interest or $990 in interest. So I mean, even if you pay that term off, that becomes negligible compared 10% of your original value if you're paying your minimum payment on your credit card. So let's go back into the higher numbers now. So we'll take a look at $5,000. So a $5,000 credit card limit, again, was going to cost us about, I think it was going to take us a little over 20 years to pay off, and it was going to cost us over double the amount of the balance, including our interest. It was going to be $5,900 in interest, and then $5,000 of our balance for $10,990. Let's move that over into the line of credit at our 8% interest rate and see what it's going to turn out to. So the total time that it's going to take us to pay off this line of credit is 12 years and 9 months. Now, again, this is making a minimum balance 3%, so $150 a month on $5,000. On the line of credit, the total interest paid is $1,378 as comparison to $5,900 in the credit card bill, in the 20% interest rate. Total paid on the line of credit on your 8% interest rate would be $6,378. That's in comparison to $10,990, a savings of a little over $4,600. So you would save $4,600 by immediately moving that over into a line of credit. Now, again, you have to have the free capital, or you have to have the free availability in these different financing options to move things over, to find lower credit. But there's so much availability to move this credit into lower interest borrowing that it's a no-brainer to try and look for it. Do not hold your balance on your credit card. Do not pay these high interest rates. Do not pay 20%. Like, try and get your interest down at the absolute minimum. Get your monthly overhead down to the absolute minimum that you can, so that you can afford to pay off some of this debt. If you're struggling with it whatsoever, this is just a number one thing. And then let's take a look into the $10,000 balance if we were holding it on our credit card. This is quite a large balance, but again, many people out there are holding this type of balance on a credit card or on multiple cards, especially if you're offsetting your cards with other cards or paying balances with other cards. So, total original borrowing of $10,000. We moved this into our line of credit, so we're going to be paying at an 8% interest rate. Total term is going to take 15 years and 2 months to pay off, with a total interest paid on that of $2,806. If we go back to our credit card payment, we were paying our 20% interest, and that was going to take us to about a $20,000 or $22,000 total paid with our original balance plus interest. With the line of credit, total paid is going to be $12,806. So, a savings of about $10,000 in interest. Woo-hoo! Just by moving it over to a lower interest loan. It's simple as that. Take your credit cards, move it into a line of credit, move it into some sort of a low interest loan. Get out of this debt quick, okay?